Maya Collins, a self-made real estate mogul in her mid-30s, adjusted her gold bracelet as she prepared for the evening. Tonight was special, a high-profile charity gala at the Phoenix Club, one of the most exclusive private clubs in the city. Her best friend, Tasha, grinned. "You're gonna make heads turn, girl. These rich snobs won't know what hit them." Maya smiled, though she wasn't intimidated. She had worked hard to build her empire from nothing. Tonight was about celebrating her success and supporting a worthy cause. She glanced at the invitation embossed with gold. Admit 1, the Phoenix Club Charity Gala. As Maya pulled up in her sleek black luxury car, the Phoenix Club stood tall and imposing, its gold accents gleaming under the soft glow of chandeliers inside. A line of luxury cars and sharply dressed patrons waited at the entrance. Maya stepped out of the car, her silk emerald gown flowing like water. Heads turned, some admiring, others skeptical. She handed her keys to the valet, who raised an eyebrow but said nothing. She walked toward the entrance with poise, clutching her invitation. At the door, a tall white man in a sharp black suit stood holding the guest list. John Hensley, the club's manager. Maya handed him the invitation, but he barely glanced at it before looking her up and down. "I'm sorry, Mom," he said with a thin smile, "but this event is invitation only." Maya frowned. "This is an invitation." Hensley's gaze sharpened. "It's been a mistake. You must be at the wrong venue." Maya's voice remained calm but firm. "My name is Maya Collins. I'm on the list." Hensley shook his head. "Your name isn't here. Please step aside." Maya's cheeks burned, but she kept her composure. She noticed people staring, whispering, some pretending not to look. "Check again," she said evenly. "I said no," Hensley replied, curtly, his voice sharp. "We have standards here." Before Maya could respond, he motioned to security, a broad-shouldered man who stepped forward. "Escort her out." Maya's stomach twisted, humiliation, rage. But she didn't argue. She turned on her heels, head held high, and walked away, her heels clicking loudly on the pavement. Sitting in her car, Maya gripped the steering wheel, breathing hard. Her phone buzzed. It was Tasha. "Maya, what happened? Are you inside?" "No," Maya replied, her voice steady despite the fire in her chest. "They wouldn't let me in." Tasha's tone rose with anger. "What? Why?" "Because I didn't look like I belonged," Maya said softly. But then a spark lit in her eyes. "Tasha, call my lawyer and get the bank on standby. I want to make an offer." The Phoenix Club was more than a building. It was a symbol of privilege. Founded in the early 1900s, it had a long history of hosting the city's most powerful families. It prided itself on exclusivity, though its unspoken rules had always excluded certain types of people. But Maya had spent years breaking through barriers. She wasn't going to let this stop her. The next morning, Maya sat in her office with her team. "How much is the Phoenix Club worth?" she asked her lawyer, Greg. He adjusted his glasses. "We're talking at least $15 million, but buying them out won't be easy. The board's filled with stubborn old money." "Let me worry about that," Maya replied, her tone cold. "I want this done quietly. I'll pay over market value if I have to." Maya's lawyer approached the Phoenix Club's board of directors with an offer they couldn't ignore, $20 million cash. The board, blindsided, debated endlessly. "We can't sell," Hensley protested. "This is a legacy." But others on the board saw the dollar signs. "It's a business, John," one member argued. "Money talks." Within days, whispers spread around the city that the Phoenix Club was being sold. Hensley grew paranoid, but no one knew who the buyer was. Maya stayed out of sight, orchestrating the deal from behind closed doors. 2 weeks later, the sale was finalized. The papers were signed and the ownership transferred. The Phoenix Club board members were paid handsomely. At the final meeting, John Hensley's face drained of color when Maya walked into the room. She smiled calmly. "Surprise." "You?" he stammered. Me, Maya said. The woman you turned away. On the night of the reopening, the Phoenix Club had been transformed. The old elitist decor was replaced with a modern, welcoming aesthetic. Maya had renamed it the Phoenix Lounge, a place where everyone was welcome, no matter their background. Invitations had been sent to diverse leaders, artists, and everyday citizens. A massive banner hung outside. Grand opening under new ownership. Maya arrived in a stunning white gown, walking through the doors that once rejected her. John Hensley stood in the crowd, unnoticed and ignored. He watched as Maya greeted guests with grace, her success on full display. He had once been the gatekeeper. Now he was just another man in the room. When their eyes met, Maya simply smiled. Enjoy the evening. The Phoenix Lounge's first major event was a Diversity in Leadership Gala. The ballroom sparkled under crystal chandeliers, alive with vibrant conversations and laughter. The guest list was unlike anything the old Phoenix Club had ever seen. Local artists, Black entrepreneurs, immigrants, educators, and community leaders stood shoulder to shoulder. Maya moved through the room with a calm authority, stopping to shake hands and introduce herself. For her, this wasn't just about making the lounge successful. It was about creating a space where no one felt they didn't belong. Halfway through the evening, a man approached her. "Ms. Collins," he said hesitantly. "My name's Marcus. Years ago, I applied for membership here and was denied. Seeing this place open to everyone tonight, it's inspiring." Maya smiled. "You belong here, Marcus. Welcome to the Phoenix Lounge." Nearby, Hensley lurked in the shadows, watching bitterly as the very club he guarded now thrived without him. While many applauded Maya's efforts, not everyone was pleased. An old guard of former members, wealthy families who had treated the Phoenix Club as their private domain, held secret meetings. Led by Gregory Phillips, a prominent businessman, they were determined to take back what was theirs. "She's turned our legacy into a circus," Gregory sneered during one such meeting. "We'll bury her." Meanwhile, the media began buzzing with rumors. Is Maya Collins ruining tradition? Maya's phone rang constantly, filled with calls from journalists asking for comments. Weeks later, Maya hosted a scholarship benefit night for underprivileged students. The turnout was massive, the energy electric. But halfway through the evening, chaos erupted. Someone had cut the power. Guests gasped as the room fell into darkness. Maya remained calm, rallying her team. Within minutes, backup generators restored the lights. "Someone's trying to make us look bad," her assistant Tasha whispered. Maya stepped onto the stage, microphone in hand. "We don't let setbacks define us," she said, her voice carrying through the hall. "We adapt. We persevere. That's what tonight is all about." The crowd applauded, and donations poured in despite the disruption. But Maya knew this was just the beginning of the sabotage. Behind closed doors, Gregory Phillips and his allies devised a plan to smear Maya's reputation. Leaked emails, false accusations of mismanagement, and a campaign of whispers targeted the Phoenix Lounge. Soon, tabloids began publishing stories. "Is Maya Collins fit to lead?" and "The Phoenix Lounge plagued by financial trouble." Maya's lawyer, Greg, slammed a newspaper onto her desk. "They're coming after you. We need to fight back." Maya shook her head. "Fighting back gives them power. We'll let our work speak for itself." Maya called a press conference to address the rumors. Standing in front of reporters, she spoke calmly and confidently. "Change is hard. When walls come down, those who benefited from them try to build them back up. But we're not going anywhere. The Phoenix Lounge stands for inclusivity, opportunity, and community, and that's what we'll continue to deliver." Her words went viral, and supporters flooded social media with messages of solidarity. The smear campaign had backfired. Maya invited former Phoenix Club members for a private event, hoping to change their perspectives. She spoke with many of them one-on-one, listening to their concerns and sharing her vision. Some remained cold, but others were moved. One elderly man approached her after the event. "You remind me of someone," he said softly. "My father was denied entry here once. You're doing something important." For Maya, every small win mattered. Maya's success sparked an idea. What if she could replicate the Phoenix Lounge model in other cities? She gathered her team. "I want to build more spaces like this. Places where people feel welcome, not judged." Greg looked skeptical. "That's ambitious, Maya. We're already dealing with resistance here." "That's why we need to grow," Maya said. "This isn't just a club. It's a movement." Maya sat at the head of the sleek conference table in her downtown office, the city skyline stretching behind her through floor-to-ceiling windows. Her team gathered: Greg, her loyal lawyer; Tasha, her best friend and PR manager; and a few new investors who believed in the Phoenix Lounge. "I want to expand," Maya said, her voice steady and confident. "The Phoenix Lounge isn't just a club, it's an idea, a place for everyone, and every city needs a place like it." Greg leaned forward, skeptical. "Expansion is risky, Maya. We just solidified the first location. Taking this national could stretch you thin." "I know the risks," she replied calmly, "but I also know the rewards. If we succeed, we'll redefine what exclusivity means, not just here, but everywhere." Tasha chimed in. "She's right. The demand is there. People want a space where they don't feel judged for who they are." One of the investors, Amelia Hart, a sharp-minded woman in her 40s, nodded. "I'm in. The numbers at the first Phoenix Lounge speak for themselves. You've built a brand that resonates." Maya smiled. "Then let's get to work." Her dream was big, but Maya had always believed that change required bold moves. Word spread quickly about Maya's expansion plans, and not everyone was pleased. Gregory Phillips, still reeling from his earlier defeat, called a meeting with a handful of old money elites who once dominated the Phoenix Club. "She's not just ruining the club anymore," Gregory snarled. "She's spreading this nonsense across the country." "What do you propose?" asked one of the men. Gregory's lip curled into a smirk. "We fight fire with fire. We'll find her weak spots. If we can't stop her business, we'll destroy her reputation." Within days, smear campaigns started appearing in newspapers and online. Anonymous sources claimed Maya was financially unstable. Fake reviews popped up accusing the Phoenix Lounge of cheapening the city's elite standards. Maya noticed the stories immediately, but she stayed calm. She called Tasha and Greg into her office. "This isn't new," Maya said. "We've seen these games before." "They're trying to bury you," Greg said bitterly. "They can try," Maya replied, "but they don't know how deep my roots go." Maya turned the tables. She knew the power of stories and the community she had built. She hosted a press event at the Phoenix Lounge, inviting journalists, members, and leaders to share what the club meant to them. A single mother stepped to the podium. "Before Maya Collins turned this place around, I didn't think someone like me could walk through these doors. Now I come here to network, to meet people who support me. Maya changed my life." An artist spoke next. "Maya created a place where creativity thrives, where people come together. That's what this city needs." The stories flooded social media, drowning out Gregory's smear campaign. The headlines shifted. The Phoenix Lounge isn't just a club, it's a movement. Maya watched the coverage, a small smile tugging at her lips. "You can't fight the truth," she whispered to herself. 6 months later, Maya and her team opened the second Phoenix Lounge in Atlanta. The launch was flawless. The club buzzed with energy. Artists, entrepreneurs, and community leaders packed the space. But Maya had one moment that stood out. A young black woman approached her nervously. "Ms. Collins, I wanted to say, Thank you. I'm a real estate student, and seeing someone like you succeed, it shows me what's possible. Maya smiled, handing the woman her card. Reach out to my team. Let's talk about your goals. This was why Maya did what she did. Gregory, furious that Maya's Atlanta launch had succeeded, resorted to more underhanded tactics. He paid off city inspectors to delay permits for Maya's next project in Chicago. He sent anonymous letters to Maya's investors, spreading lies about her leadership. Maya's phone rang one afternoon. It was Greg, her lawyer. "They're stalling us, Maya. Your Chicago opening could be pushed back 6 months." Maya sighed. "Then we'll work harder. Let's find a way around this." Amelia Hart, one of Maya's investors, stepped up. She used her connections to fast-track permits and neutralize Gregory's interference. "Thank you," Maya told Amelia. "Don't thank me yet," Amelia replied. "People like Gregory don't stop. He'll keep coming." Maya's resolve hardened. "Then I'll keep going." The grand opening of the Phoenix Lounge in Chicago was supposed to be flawless, another jewel in Maya Collins' growing empire. But 2 days before the launch, chaos struck. At 8 a.m., Maya's phone rang. It was Greg, her lawyer. His voice sounded strained. "Maya, you need to sit down." "What happened?" she asked, dread twisting in her stomach. Greg sighed heavily. "The fire inspectors are shutting down the Chicago Lounge. They claim we violated safety codes." "Maya, this smells like sabotage." Maya gripped the edge of her desk. "Greg, we had every inspection signed off. How could this happen now?" "Looks like someone on the inside, maybe a contractor, altered a report," Greg explained. "We can fight it, but this launch will be delayed." Maya's heart sank. Hundreds of invitations had gone out. Journalists were set to cover the opening. Pulling back would make it look like failure, and that's exactly what Gregory Phillips wanted. Tasha stormed into Maya's office moments later. "I just saw the news. Maya Collins' expansion stumbles with Chicago shut down. That snake Gregory is behind this. I know it." Maya took a deep breath, regaining her composure. "Fine. If they want a fight, we'll give them one. Get the legal team on this and call every contractor. Someone will talk." 2 days later, Greg returned with news. "We found the leak," he said, slamming a file onto Maya's desk. It was a subcontractor on Gregory's payroll. He submitted falsified fire safety reports. Maya's blood boiled. How did they find someone willing to risk their reputation? Greg shrugged. "Money talks, but don't worry. We're taking this to court. The inspectors will reinstate us, but it'll take another 2 weeks." Maya frowned. "We can't lose momentum." Tasha piped up, determination blazing in her eyes. "Why don't we turn the setback into a story? Let's invite journalists to the lounge, unfinished and all. Show them the truth, the fight to create something meaningful." Maya thought about it. "A behind-the-scenes look. I like it. We'll call it Building Belonging. Let's own this narrative." Maya opened the doors of the half-finished Chicago Lounge to journalists and influencers, walking them through the space. Exposed beams, scattered paint buckets, and unfinished floors told a story of resilience. "I don't hide from setbacks," Maya said as cameras flashed. "This is what real change looks like. Messy, difficult, but worth it. I won't let anyone stop us." The media lapped it up. Articles appeared with titles like "Maya Collins Fights Back, a Vision Delayed, Not Destroyed." "Building Belonging, How Setbacks Only Strengthen Her Vision." 2 weeks later, the Phoenix Lounge Chicago opened with overwhelming support. Guests packed the club, proving that Maya's momentum was unstoppable. Gregory Phillips sat in his office, scrolling through news articles with growing fury. Every plan to sabotage Maya had failed. Worse yet, her ability to turn every attack into a win made her more powerful. "She's untouchable," one of his allies muttered. Gregory slammed his fist onto his desk. "No one's untouchable. We just haven't hit her where it hurts yet." The man hesitated. What are you suggesting? Gregory leaned back, a cruel smile playing at his lips. Find out where she's vulnerable. There's always something. Maya was inspecting the newly opened Los Angeles Phoenix Lounge when her phone buzzed. It was Greg. Maya, we've got a problem. You need to get back to New York now. What's wrong? She asked, her voice sharp with concern. Someone's threatening to leak false financial reports, claiming you're bankrupt. It's nonsense, but it'll shake investor confidence. Maya froze. This wasn't just about clubs anymore. Gregory was going after her entire reputation, her livelihood. Back in New York, Maya held a crisis meeting with her investors and legal team. How bad is it? She asked Greg. If Gregory plants this story, it could cause a ripple effect. Your investors might pull out. Maya looked around the room. Listen to me. We've built this empire on honesty and integrity. I will not let lies undo everything we've worked for. We'll audit the books, release our own reports, and be transparent with everyone. Greg nodded. We'll prepare a statement. Tasha added, we'll get the press involved. Make Gregory look desperate and dishonest. Maya smiled grimly. This ends now. 2 days later, Maya stood at a podium, reporters filling the room. Screens behind her displayed financial records, showing the Phoenix Lounge's success and stability. I built this business to tear down walls, not hide behind them, Maya said firmly. Anyone spreading lies about us is afraid of what we represent. But we're not going anywhere. The truth spread like wildfire, and Gregory's smear campaign collapsed. His allies began abandoning him, unwilling to sink with his ship. A whistleblower leaked Gregory's role in falsifying reports, sabotaging permits, and bribing contractors. The scandal rocked his business empire. Headlines read, Gregory Phillips exposed, a fall from grace. Sabotage backfires. Maya Collins emerges stronger than ever. Meanwhile, the Phoenix Lounge thrived. New locations opened in Miami and Washington, D.C. Each met with success. The city buzzed with the news. Gregory Phillips under investigation for sabotage and fraud. The walls were finally closing in on the man who had made it his mission to destroy Maya Collins. Inside Gregory's once lavish office, chaos reigned. Boxes filled with files were being wheeled out by investigators. Gregory sat at his desk, his face pale and his reputation in ruins. You've lost everything, Greg, his lawyer said grimly. The falsified reports, the bribery. You're looking at criminal charges and lawsuits. Gregory slammed his fist on the desk. It's her fault, he growled. Maya Collins ruined me. No, the lawyer shot back. You ruined yourself. Across town, Maya watched the news unfold in silence. Greg entered her office with a satisfied smile. Gregory's done. The man who thought he could tear you down has fallen on his own sword. Maya nodded. Good. But this isn't about revenge. It's about proving that people like him can't stand in the way of progress anymore. The following week, Maya received an unexpected visitor. Vanessa, the former gatekeeper who had once turned her away from the Phoenix Club, stood at the entrance of the Phoenix Lounge, holding a file in her hand. Maya, Vanessa said softly, her voice trembling, I need to talk to you. Maya looked at her carefully, but gestured for her to come inside. They sat across from each other in a quiet room. I owe you an apology, Vanessa began, her eyes downcast. When I turned you away that night, I didn't see you for who you were. I only saw what I'd been conditioned to believe. I lost my job, my reputation, but I deserved it. What do you want from me, Vanessa? Maya asked, her tone calm but firm. I don't want anything, Vanessa replied quickly. I want to help you. I've been working with anti-bias organizations, learning about the damage I contributed to. I want to use what I've learned to educate others. Maya studied her, seeing the sincerity in her eyes. Finally, she spoke. Actions speak louder than words, Vanessa. Show me what you can do. Vanessa nodded. I will. Maya decided to give her a chance. She hired Vanessa as the head of community outreach for the Phoenix brand. It wasn't about forgetting the past. It was about building a better future. The Phoenix Lounge Miami opened to fanfare. Underneath the city's palm trees and bright skyline, the lounge became a cultural hub for artists, small business owners, and musicians. At the grand opening, a famous Miami-born musician took the stage to perform. The crowd erupted in cheers, and Maya stood in the back, watching her vision come to life. Tasha leaned in, whispering, "You realize this is bigger than just clubs now, right? You're changing lives." Maya smiled faintly. "That's the goal." A local artist approached Maya after the event, clutching her hand. "I've been turned away from places like this my whole life," she said tearfully. "Thank you for opening the doors." Maya felt the familiar warmth in her chest, the reason she kept going. Success came with new challenges. Maya's lounges became targets of rumors, some calling them too inclusive, others claiming they lowered the standard of luxury. Anonymous opinion pieces criticized Maya for turning exclusivity into a free-for-all. Greg, her lawyer, placed a stack of articles on her desk. "They're trying to create division. They want you to feel small." "I'm not here to cater to elitists," Maya replied calmly. "I'm here to build something meaningful." Tasha, sitting across the room, sighed. "The louder they get, the more you know you're doing something right." Maya invited some of her loudest critics to an open panel event at the Phoenix Lounge. Wealthy business owners, artists, educators, and journalists sat in the audience as Maya took the stage. "I've heard the criticism," she said, her voice firm but kind. "You say I've lowered standards, but look around you. What you see isn't chaos, it's community." She pointed toward the crowd. "The artist who now has a gallery, the student who won a scholarship, the woman who launched her first business. That is the new standard, and I'm proud of it." A quiet murmur swept through the crowd. Even some of her most vocal critics couldn't deny the success of her vision. Gregory Phillips, desperate and bitter, launched a last-ditch attack. He attempted to spread fabricated financial documents, claiming the Phoenix Lounge was a failing business on the verge of bankruptcy. The rumors spread quickly, but Maya acted faster. She hosted a live-streamed press event, backed by her team of accountants and financial experts. "These are the facts," she said, presenting real financial data. "We are not failing, we are thriving." The fabricated documents were traced back to Gregory. His remaining allies abandoned him, and he became a disgraced figure in the city. With Gregory out of the picture, Maya's empire grew stronger. She launched lounges in London, Johannesburg, and Toronto, each one built on the same foundation of inclusivity and opportunity. The Johannesburg opening was especially meaningful. Maya stood at the podium, tears in her eyes. "My mother always dreamed of seeing a world where doors stayed open. Today, that dream is real." The crowd cheered, and Maya knew this was only the beginning. Maya launches mentorship programs for young entrepreneurs, providing grants and guidance for their businesses. She meets with global leaders, inspiring discussions on inclusivity and systemic change. The Phoenix Lounge wins international awards for its impact on communities. Maya reconnects with young artists and entrepreneurs she's helped, hearing their stories of triumph. Gregory Phillips, now bankrupt and shunned, attempts to apologize to Maya, who listens but remains dignified. Vanessa's outreach programs change lives, turning critics into supporters. Maya reflects on her journey during a quiet moment, overwhelmed with gratitude. A global summit celebrates Maya's legacy, honoring her as a trailblazer who changed what luxury means. Years later, Maya walks into the original Phoenix Lounge, holding her young daughter's hand. The space is alive with people, artists, families, students, and leaders, all thriving in a place that once turned her away. "Mommy, did you make this place?" her daughter asks. Maya kneels beside her. "I didn't just make it. I changed it so no one ever feels unwelcome again. At the 10th anniversary of the Phoenix Lounge, Maya stands on stage as thousands of people celebrate. The once exclusive club had become a symbol of inclusion, growth, and success. Looking out at the crowd, Maya speaks her final words of the night. "We tore down the walls. We built bridges instead. And this is only the beginning." The crowd erupts in applause. The story of Maya Collins, the woman who transformed rejection into a legacy, had become a global inspiration.